Hello everyone! Have you ever wanted to learn to read people? Imagine you're at the job interview and you're just answering questions and you have no idea whether they're desperate to hire you or don't think that you're right for the job. Or maybe you're on your first date and you don't know whether to lean in for the kiss at the end of the date because you're not sure what kind of signals you were getting. My name is Shamil, and understanding how to read people has helped me tremendously over my entrepreneurship career. And today I'm going to teach you how to do it too. For me, this has been the absolute key skill to nail all of my negotiations, get better at selling myself, my services and my companies, as well as influencing people into doing what I need to get done. Okay, let's start with some theory. When communicating to somebody in person, there are three main channels of conveying information to the other person. The first one is verbal communication. It's literally the meaning of the words that I'm saying. The second one is non-verbal communication, which is your pose, your gestures, your facial mimics, your appearance and your general behavior. And the third one is paralinguistic component, which is how loudly or quietly, how fast or how slow you're talking. Now, can you guess which is the most important one? Albert Merhabian, the professor of psychology in the University of California, after conveying numerous studies, has come up with the 7-38-55 rule, which indicates that only 7% of all the communication that is done verbally. The paralinguistic component, which is the tonality of your voice, comprises 38%, and the whopping 55% of communication is actually done through non-verbal channels. Just think about it for a moment. You could be spending hours preparing information for that meeting, but in the end, it is going to have only 7% effect on the result of the meeting. Now, don't get me wrong. Preparing for an interview or knowing what you're gonna tell about yourself on your first date or in your first meeting is crucial. You really need to know what you're going to be talking about. This has to be automatic. You really need to know your stuff. But the key role in the outcome of the negotiations will be played by your skills in your non-verbal communication. Now let's start with the very basics, which is your overall pose. There are two types of poses, the open one and the closed one. And this is the easiest indicator that is going to tell you whether the person you're communicating to likes you or your information or not. The open pose, when the person's arms are facing upwards and are open, shows that the person is willing to continue communicating to you and either likes you or the information that they are receiving. On the contrary, if you see somebody sitting in a closed pose like this could mean that the other person is trying to shut you out, either doesn't like you or doesn't agree with the information that you're trying to convey to them. Now take a look at this example. I could be talking to you with an open position like this, can convey the information differences between verbal and non-verbal communications, or it can be talking to you like this and could be conveying the very same information in the very same tone about the verbal and non-verbal communication, but you would be receiving that information in completely different ways. The reason is, whether we want to or not, we perceive the non-verbal signals on a subconscious level. This is what a gut feeling is. Now, the second important topic that we are going to talk about today is the handshakes. In most of the cultures, this is the first thing that you do when you are meeting the other person. And you can just tell so much from the handshake. Now, there are four main types of handshakes. Number one, if the person really wants to show their dominance and show that they will hold control over the conversation, they will hold their hand above yours. And they will usually squeeze quite hard as well. This is because psychologically, on subconscious level, they're trying to subdue you and see you as a weaker opponent in the negotiations. You can oftentimes see people in the position of power use this, like Donald Trump, for example. On the other hand, if the other person's hand is below yours and their handshake is very soft, it's a good sign that the person is giving you the control over the situation and wants you to lead the negotiation. Now, if the other person keeps their hand on the same level as yours and adjusts the strength of their grip to yours, they're perceiving you as an equal, and usually this is the sign of a general respect in business. And this is something that you should be aiming for when meeting new people. And the fourth one that you can meet quite often is the handshake with both hands. This is usually the show of utmost respect and admiration. But you have to refrain from using this when meeting the person for the first time. Now let's have a look at different hand positions and see what this is telling us about what other person thinks. Now, how would you feel if I interlock my fingers when talking to you or listening to you? Fingers interlocked usually shows negative feelings towards you and the information that you are conveying. The person is literally protecting himself from you. And an interesting thing I noticed is the higher up the hands go, the more negative is the relation towards you. So if the person is sitting like this, you better run. Now we're gonna talk about face touching. Fingers touching eyes, ears, the nose, or scratching the back of the head usually means that the person is lying to you and is trying to cover up their own lies. And you might be doing this as well. Just pay close attention. Keep your hands off your face during negotiations. Usually, if the person scratches their nose just once, it could be just that the nose is itchy. But if you notice a combination of 2 or 3 of those, if the person is scratching their eye and then scratching the back of their head, this could well be the signals that the other person is lying to you. The third one is very obvious, and you should have known this by now. If the person is holding their head like this or like this to prevent it from falling to the table, it means that the information that you're conveying is rather boring to the person or is of no interest. Switch the topic. Now, if the person is rubbing their hand, and usually it goes like this, it means that the person has heard something that is going to bring him financial gains. This gesture should show you that the other person really likes your offer and sees it as really lucrative one. This gesture evolved from this one that you can see in films, but as people grow, all of the gestures become more and more subtle. So you really need to pay attention to notice them. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to adjust your verbal, non-verbal and paralinguistic communication to make the other person like you. Because we make business deals with and we hire the people that we like. And I'm gonna show you all the tips and tricks of how to make the other person feel that you're on the same wave as them and to start liking you subconsciously. So their gut feeling was telling you that you are the right person for the job. Remember that practice makes perfect. The fact that you have watched this video till this point shows me that you are very serious about your self-development, and I will do my best to help you master all of these techniques over the coming months. Thank you for watching this video. Please share it with anyone who you think really need to improve these skills to excel in life. And if you want to be notified when the second part is out, hit the subscribe button. Have a great day and stay cool.